Okay, this video is for Now and Miho. I know that you guys have been training with me for about like 2 or 3 months, but you still don't quite have the basics down for what we're doing for women's self-defense because you simply don't have time to meet with me. So I'm making a little home video here specifically for you two, so that I can give you like some additional training on just the basic steps of what we're going over. Now, if you'll notice, I'm kind of in a tiny little room here. This is what my junky room looks like. So we're just going to get started. I'm going to go over some of the basic footwork and some of the basic hand techniques and drills that you can do at home by yourself. You don't really need a lot of space, as you can see. And you don't really need so many tools to do this. So if you practice these every day, then the movements that we use in class will become a lot easier for you and a lot clearer. So let's get started. For my style of women's self-defense, the things I'm trying to teach mostly is to get yourself out of an attack line and out of danger first. So the first thing that we focus on is, of course, like body movement. So that's to get you out of an attack line, and then like you're going to work on getting your opponent off balance, right? So that he can't attack you, but you can attack him. So that's the main focus of what I teach. So basically, I'm telling you to make your body kind of vanish from an attack, and then use your body weight to knock your opponent off balance before you attack them. Now, a lot of people have a hard time understanding center line, and I know that this is something that C-Roy and I kept mentioning in class last week. But your center line is basically the center of your body, right? So when it comes to women, like women are tend to be smaller than guys. So if you're fighting a guy like me or C-Roy, you actually have to be worried about a much larger area. So, because I can attack you anywhere in between this width, right? So, like if you're smaller than me, and you're anywhere within this area, basically is a danger zone for you, right? Because I can slap you, I can kick you from here, or I can do a lot of things to you, like choking and grabbing, because you're in my range, right? So for my style of women's self-defense, my first priority is getting you out of that range, getting you out from in front of me to where I can't attack you. So that's why I teach for you to try to always slip to the side or use spacing to get yourself away from an opponent. And then we focus on getting him off balance. So for center line training, one of the best things that you can do, and one of the simplest things that you can do, is if you have a belt anywhere in your house and a light, you can do this. So this is my little knit belt. I just got a hook here, and I'm going to hang this thing on my light, right? And this will give me a little bit of something to kind of reference when it comes to my center line. So I'm going to try to do most of my exercises by lining myself up in front of this belt or broom or whatever I've got hanging, right? And the object of a lot of the step practice that we're doing is basically this is my enemy, right? This is his body, and as long as I'm standing in front of this belt, he can attack me, right? But if I move to the side, if you'll notice, I'm not in his attack range, and but I still have access to him, right? So a lot of the basic step practice that we go over is based on that. So our first practice for stepping is just to put your hands behind your back, and you're going to practice forward stepping, right? Now, if you're going to be fighting a guy, which you never know when the situation might arrive, the last thing that you want to do, you don't want to get into a fighting stance, because if you get into a fighting stance, he's going to know that you want to rumble, right? And he's not going to hold back, and he's going to come at you more aggressively, right? So for women's self-defense, you want to keep yourself calm and relaxed. You don't want to give him any kind of inclination that you're trying to fight back, because depending on his mood, if he's angry, he's just going to start swinging, right? And while you're in his danger zone, that's not such a good thing for you, right? So keep your body relaxed, and in order to start with the center line training, hang your belt, put your hands behind your back, and you're just going to practice stepping. So the first step we're going to do is a forward step, right? Now, as a girl, you don't want to really step straight into an opponent because you're in his danger zone, right? And normally a guy has more body mass than you do, right? Or more muscle. So it's like running into a brick wall. So the way to offset this is just take your take this leg, you're going to step to the side right here, right? Now when you step, you want to try to keep your back straight. A lot of times in class I notice that you guys kind of bend over like this. But if he happens to grab you in a headlock, then you have to use your back muscles to try and pull back. And depending on how strong he is, you might not be able to do that. So try to keep your back straight and just step with your legs, right? And then step back. And the other side, step, step back. 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 Now, like, this is good for you to practice, like, as much as you want to. When you're actually using this technique, you don't really have to step so deeply. The deeper you step, I mean, the more of an effect it's going to have, because the more off balance he's going to go when he grabs me, right? But, I mean, just a normal walking step is fine. Yeah, that's enough to get you out of his range. And since I'm practically behind this belt anyway, if this belt were holding on to me, he would be off balance, right? And I could just keep walking. So that's the first step that you're going to go over, is the forward step. And then, like, you're going to, like, take a break from that one and line yourself up in front of the belt again. And now we're going to practice sidestepping, right? So sidestepping is just, like, normally in class you guys have a habit of picking your leg up and dropping. Sometimes you're going to want to do that, like, depending on how heavy an opponent is. But if you don't want to risk, if you lift your leg up and you fall the wrong way, you might not have time to put your leg down, and he might fall on top of you, right? Which is, like, one of the worst case scenarios. So what you're going to do for this one is keep your hands behind your back and just slide to the side. And then back in front of the belt and slide to the side. And just slide. Now a lot of times when you slide, you're going to want to kind of do it like a step, right? But for the purpose of building your legs up for this, just slide and hold, and then try to step back and slide. I'm kind of out of space on this side because I'm, like, running into my clothes and stuff, but you get the general idea. I'll just slide and slide, and, you know, just try to keep yourself in front of the belt until you don't want to be there anymore. So if he's attacking me from the front, I can negate all of his attacks from here, and I'm still within his attack range, right? Sorry. So once you get used to sidestepping, you could try doing the sidestep with the slide, which is this one, or this one. This one. Now when you're first starting off, like, if I do a step and a slide, then I kind of put a little bit more distance between him and me, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, especially if he's holding on to me. That's going to knock him more off balance my way, right? But if I want to quick attack him, then, like, just stepping right here, I'm still basically standing in the same spot, right? I'm out of his line, but my foot is in the same place, so I have easier access to him to do whatever I want to do, right? So, like, it depends on the situation. If I need to knock him off balance and I have more room, I might step and slide and drag him with me, right? To knock him more off balance, and then, like, start working on him, right? But right now we're going to focus more on leg strength, so just, like, practice stepping and holding to build up these muscles, right? And I'm going to do some strength training with you guys too today, okay? So that's step number 2, side step. Now, step number 3 you already know is the back step, right? So this is for if an opponent is standing in front of me and happens to grab me from the front, right? I don't necessarily step straight backwards, because if he's swinging at me and I step straight backwards, he's just going to keep coming forward, right? Or if he falls on me, I'm in a bad position. So the side step, just line yourself up in front of your belt and step backwards this way. Now, you can't really see my feet, but I try to keep my feet flat on the floor. I don't, like, turn my foot up like this, because if I do this, I'm a little bit off balance, right? So, like, I mean, you can use this once you get better at balancing yourself on your back leg, but the purpose of this one is to try to balance yourself on your back leg as much as possible. So, it's going to be like a 70-30. So, basically, when I do this, I should be able to step back and kick. Alright? Step back and kick. So, the step back isn't like this. Now, you have a bad habit of doing this one. It looks cute, but it doesn't really it's not really pulling me, right? So you've got to learn to move your leg and your body at the same time. So if you go like this and then try to pull back, you're actually having to pull me with your leg muscles, right? Which is with your front leg muscles by pushing backwards. And depending on how much leverage you have or how hard I've got you, that might be a bit more difficult. So what you want to do is you basically want to fall backwards with your back leg, right? That way, you're not pushing like this to try to pull me back. And so there's not as much muscle involved. So when you're standing in front of your belt, just slide back and then slide forward and slide back, right? And if you'll notice, I'm a little bit out of his range. I could slide back more this way if I had more room. But I'm out, I give myself more distance to deal with any kind of attack he might have. And I'm also not directly in his line, right? So if he were to throw something, this gives me more time to deal with him. So if he throws a front punch, I can step. And I can still be on the side of him. But he's still in my range. And because I'm on the side of him, I'm not in any danger, really. So I can elbow or start working him. Or if I need to step to another area, then I can also do that. So let's practice this one. In front of the belt. Slide back. Slide forward. Slide back.